Good evening. Good evening, everyone. If we could rise for the prayer, please. Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and making it a better place to live and work. Amen. Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Elliott,
Here.
Councilor Kennedy,
Here.
Councilor Leahy,
Here.
Councilor Martin,
Here.
Councilor Mercia,
Here.
Councilor Milanazzo,
Here.
Councilor Rourke,
Here.
Councilor Samaras,
Here.
Councilor Belandria.
Here.
9 present. I'd like to read the special meeting notice. Notice is hereby given as required by Rule 6 of the City of Lowell City Council rules that the Lowell City Council will hold a special meeting of the Lowell City Council in the council chambers on Monday, March 31st at 6 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is for the selection and appointment of the individual to fill the position of the city manager of Lowell. The public is invited to attend. By order, Rodney M. Elliott, Mayor, Angela Giccia, Acting City Clerk. Before we proceed into that section of the special meeting, I'd like to entertain a motion to suspend the rules to have a discussion relative to the city
So moved.
auditor search.
So move.
Motion by Councilor Samaras, seconded by Councilor Rourke to suspend the rules. And again, the purpose is to discuss the search of, or the application process of the city solicitor. All those in favor of that motion to suspend the rules signify by saying aye. And the opposed, motion carries. So members, in light of the latest individual that has dropped out of the auditor search, I contacted the city solicitor today to see if it was okay if we had a discussion regarding the search process and to deliberate whether we want to think about opening up the search process, considering we've had 3 candidates drop out and there's only 1 candidate to be interviewed at the special meeting on Thursday night. Madam Solicitor?
Sure. As far as having the council having a discussion tonight, you have a meeting that's already scheduled for this Thursday. The notice of the cancellation occurred over the course of the weekend. I think time really is of the essence for the council to be able to act quickly and swiftly and address what seems to be a chronic issue at this point, and as a result, a discussion would be appropriate this evening.
Thank you, Madam Solicitor. So, discussion on that, on reopening the process? Council Milanazzo?
I would move, Mr. Mayor, that we reopen the process for the position of city auditor, and to further invite the person that we're going to interview on Thursday night to continue to be a finalist to be interviewed in the future, and that we actually cancel Thursday night's meeting so that the process can begin anew. I would make that in the form of a motion.
Okay. Motion by Councilor Milanazzo, second by Councilor Mercia, that we reopen the search process and that we include the finalist that was to be interviewed on Thursday night as part of that finalist pool of candidates, as well as cancel the special meeting on Thursday in light of the latest withdrawal. Councilor, is there a particular time frame that we would like to attach to that search process? Councilor Leahy? Or actually, I did ask Councilor Milanazzo.
Again, I would say time is of the essence, so as soon as we can get it posted and put in the various periodicals that we probably did the last time, we probably need to reach out beyond MMA, and maybe there's a financial / auditors periodical that we could look to as well.
Councilor Leahy?
I just want to add that I think, we should refer to human resource, and I think that 2 weeks would be sufficient, just to get it into the proper channel. get it out there where we need it to be in 2 weeks, and then, once we get it, make our selections and expedite the interviews.
Okay, 2 weeks, is that a motion to amend or just include as part of the search process? Okay, we'll just include that as part of the motion. Ms. Callery, is that time-wise, 2 weeks fine? And I just wanted to also suggest, if there's no objection from the members of the council, that we also reach out to the Mass Governor's Finance, GFOA, Governor's Finance Officers Association, and perhaps even the Department of Revenue. They typically, the Division of Local Services may have some good insight on candidates. Ms. Gallery?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Council Martin?
Yeah, I was going to suggest something similar. I mean, I know, for example, towns go search for school superintendents, and there's a statewide association of school committees that helps identify candidates. I'm not certain if there is something similar for finance professionals, but I think just to reopen the search and re-advertise in the same places is not necessarily going to be fruitful for us. So I think we do need to look at some of those extra groups. And so I would ask maybe the HR director to look into that and either report to us at the meeting tomorrow or the meeting next week if, if there are such organizations, if we think those would be helpful and whether we want to engage them. I don't object to anything that's been said so far about proceeding with re-advertising, but I think we need to go down that parallel path as well.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I believe it's the Massachusetts Town Accountants and Auditors Association. Did we happen to reach out to them last time? Well, we should do it this time, if we didn't.
Right. And I'll have a list for you by tomorrow.
Okay. Council Samaras?
Is it possible to discuss the idea of 2 weeks? I'm concerned about that. Councilor Martin did bring up some good points about reaching out to other organizations. Where we had so many candidates drop out, this is kind of important. And I know time is of the essence, but I'm concerned about just 2 weeks. We had 30 days for the last process, and I'm bothered by going away from that process at this particular point. If we really want, I mean, it shows that it's not easy to get the candidates that we want. And I'm just saying, would a little more time help?
Personally, I think that if we're going to these organizations, Counselor, that they're mostly electronic, and
I understand that.
I want to say 90% of the resumes that we did receive were electronic, but I understand your point. Madam Solicitor?
One thing that the city could potentially do is just, in the ad, reserve the right to keep the posting open. And so it still has a deadline, and candidates are encouraged to apply prior to that deadline. However, the city reserves the right to accept applicants even after the deadline has passed.
Okay, thank you.
Council Leahy and then Councilor Kennedy.
Thank you. I just want to remind us that I think the problem was that we got the applicants, but we spent so much time on the city manager's search that it's been a month. So these candidates really didn't drop out. They were more or less hired for other positions. So I understand your concern, but it is important to remember that while they were waiting for us, opportunities came up. So I think once they get into the proper channels, 2 weeks would be fine, and then we just need to act quickly on the hiring process.
Council Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think I'm all set. I think that the city solicitor's recommendation is a good one. The amount of time that we're going to advertise, I think, is the only question. And I think that's what Mr. Samaras is saying, Councilor Samaras is saying. And so maybe 21 days is would be better than 14. I'm not sure, but.
Okay. Council Belanger?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I concur with Councilor Samaras and Councilor Kennedy. I think 21 days is a little more proper, and then we'll be able to tackle it right away. As Councilor Leahy alluded to, we were sidetracked the manager's position. I think 21 days is a little more appropriate.
Okay, motion was for 14 days, and there was no objection at that point in time. So we just included it as part of the mention. Does somebody want to withdraw that motion of 14 days? It was Council Leahy. Doesn't want to withdraw it. What is the wish of the body?
Well, what's the issue? Whether it's 14 days or 21 days, how long we're going to
The
advertise?
posting was, the amendment was included as part of the original motion as 14
All right,
days.
I'll move to amend the motion to have the amount of time, not when interviews begin, but to have the amount of time that the position is advertised be 21 days rather than 14 days.
Motion by Counsel Kennedy to amend. Second?
Second it?
Second by Counsel Belanger. Roll call.
Mary Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Leahy, Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Mercia,
Yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke.
Yes.
Counselor Samaras.
Yes.
Counselor Belanger.
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 nay.
8 yeas, 1 nay. Motion carries. Entertain a motion to approve the original motion as amended by Counsel Mercia, seconded by Counsel Martin. Roll call.
Mayor Elliott,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Leahy,
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Mercia,
Yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke.
Yes.
Counselor Samaras.
Yes.
Counselor Belanger.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, motion carries. So we'll proceed with the re-advertising, reposting, and we'll continue with the same process as we did in the previous selection process. Okay? Okay, moving, any further questions on that item? Thank you. Reverting to the original item, the selection of a city manager. We all received a communication from the city solicitor on March 3rd, and recommendations procedurally we will follow. So the language will be as follows. I will entertain a motion to move to appoint a city manager. There's not a date certain, so knowing that there'll be some discussions, that we appoint a city manager as soon as possible, and this will be done by a roll call vote. In terms of process, once the motion is carried, and if there is any discussion and debate, we'll proceed with the roll call, and the individual city councilors will state by name that candidate that they wish to vote for. Any questions on the procedure? Council Kennedy?
If it had a certain time rather than just ASAP?
That is a question for the members of the council. Depending upon who the candidate is that is selected, I guess we don't know exactly when they will be available, which is one of the reasons why we may want to consider.
Right. But I
keeping
mean, I
it
guess we
open.
could set a time of 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, or something like that. And if you recall, Mr. Mayor, when the position was advertised, it was advertised with a salary to be negotiated. So although we may be selecting a candidate this evening that doesn't require a contract, we still need to arrive at an agreement on what the salary will be, I would think.
Well, at the recommendation of the city solicitor, Madam Solicitor, do you want to weigh on this? I guess the concern was that we set a time frame, and the candidate that, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, and whether that candidate is not available or not, I don't know. Madam Solicitor? I don't disagree, Counsel, but.
Right. That was essentially the discussion. As a matter of practicality, we could set a timeframe for 2 weeks, and if we need to amend it in some way, we can. Or, as the mayor was suggesting, the other option is you make the appointment, and the date that it becomes effective is reserved. Once a candidate an applicant is selected, there still needs to be a decision as to the methodology to be utilized in arriving at an agreed-upon salary. And as I indicated in the communication, there are at least 3 different ways of going about that, one of which which I think is close to what we've done in the past, would be if the council saw fit to appoint both the mayor as well as the solicitor to jointly work with the candidate, and whether he has a representative, that person as well, and then come back and report to the council as to the salary negotiations. And that would be the same in the event that the council wished to entertain a contract. But in either event, that would still need to be done. So if this meeting were to be suspended after a person is selected, the mayor and I could then meet with that person and come back, not just with a salary, but also a date certain of commencement of duties and appointment. Or we could pick an artificial time of, say, 2 weeks.
Counselor? Right. So we'll proceed with the entertain a motion to proceed with the selection of a city manager.
So moved.
Motion by Council Mercia, seconded by Councilor Martin. Discussion? Council Leahy?
Thank you. I just want to say before we start that this is one of the most important duties that we have as councilors. I know that from the beginning I may have been a distraction to this process, but I felt that when I got contacted the Ethics Commission and they told me that I was okay to proceed, I did not want to neglect my duty. So I obviously participated, and I wanted to do my part on picking next manager. And that's all I wanted to say. You know, we sat through the 5 interviews. Everybody had something to offer, some unique qualifications, and I made my decision on what I thought was important to me. And when it came down to it, all things being equal, I would like to go with the in-house or the hometown candidate, and that's how I made my choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. For discussion, proceed with the roll call.
Mayor Elliott,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Kennedy,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Leahy,
George Ramirez?
Councilor Martin,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Mercia,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Milonazo,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Rourke,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Samaras,
Kevin Murphy.
Councilor Belanger.
Kevin Murphy.
Your Honor.
The chair will declare Kevin Murphy receiving 8 votes, George Ramirez 1 vote. Next city manager will be Kevin Murphy. Councilor Leahy?
Thank you. In the spirit of moving on and moving forward, I'd like to make it unanimous, so I'll change my vote to Kevin Murphy. And thank you.
Okay. That makes 9 yeas for Kevin Murphy. Moving on to the next item of the agenda is, as the solicitor explained earlier, proceeding with there are 3 recommendations on page 4 of the memo, ways to handle or to proceed with negotiating salary, benefits, things of that nature. Councilor Rourke?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to, in a form of motion, adopt the solicitor's idea of the mayor and the state solicitor to talk to Mr. Murphy and come back with a report for the council.
And also in accordance with this memo, I must state it is voted that the City Council of the City of Lowell vote to appoint Kevin Murphy to the position of City Manager, who shall hold said position during the pleasure of the City Council. So with that said, entertain a motion by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Samaras, to proceed to have the city solicitor and the mayor into discussions with Kevin Murphy on terms of employment. Discussion on that motion? Roll call.
Mayor Elliott,
Yes?
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Leahy, Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Mercia,
Yes.
Counselor Milonazo.
Yes.
Counselor Rourke.
Yes.
Counselor Samaras.
Yes.
Counselor Belanger.
Yes.
9 yeas. Motion carries. Madam Solicitor, first time we've done this. Anything else that we need to ensure that we're addressing?
Just to be clear, so we have voted on the,
Item number 3.
right, and the vote is to hold the position at the pleasure of the city council. And from that, I'm assuming that when the mayor and I are to meet with the candidate, that is it the preference of the council to negotiate the terms of a salary absent a contract, or to entertain a discussion of both items?
Mr. Mayor,
Counsel Kennedy?
I'm pretty sure that during the interview that Mr. Murphy indicated that he wouldn't be seeking a contract, so I think the only matter to be negotiated really is the salary. And I guess I think that maybe a week from Tuesday would be, you'd be reporting back to the council on how those negotiations went and and then there'd be a time certain on a start date at that point. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, that's what we did discuss prior to the meeting, that at least, give a week anyway to sit down and see what the terms of what the new city manager has and report back. And we'll bring that to the city council. Schedule an executive session, correct, Madam Solicitor, right? So if that makes sense, we'll bring that to executive session as well as a time certain when he'll start. If there's no further business before the council, Council Martin?
If I could, Mr. Mayor, I'd actually like to offer a comment on the process and the candidates who weren't selected. I don't know if that requires suspension or not, but that's...
Well, why don't we suspend the rules? It was supposed to be done before roll call. It's okay if we do that, right? Motion to suspend the rules to add additional comments by Council Martin, second by Council Milonazo. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And the opposed, motion carries. Council Martin?
Thank you, and I've said similar things at past meetings when we've selected city managers, but obviously I congratulate Representative Murphy. I think all of us who voted for him were impressed with his presentation here last week. Certainly brought a lot of passion, and I'm optimistic that he'll bring that same passion to the job and look forward to working with him. But I also wanted to congratulate the other applicants, too. George Ramirez is no stranger to any of us. He served in this council. I think he did a fine job in his interview. He brought his own passion to this process. I think he brought some unique ideas and certainly some unique experiences to us, and I think we can learn from his presentation as well. I think the other candidates from out of town had certain strengths and actually brought some ideas for us to consider going forward too. And I think all of these, with any organization, when you have the opportunity to have a leadership search, you learn something about the organization, hopefully. You learn not only from the successful applicant, but from the unsuccessful ones. And that's been my experience, both as a city councilor and in other groups that I serve on. And it causes you to do some reflection, I think, some introspection, and I think that can bring some renewed vitality to the ultimate goal. So I was very pleased with the process. I was pleased with the applicants. I thought we had some first-class individuals come meet with us. I think it speaks well to our city that people of such high caliber are interested in becoming city manager here. I would have liked to see even some others interviewed, but I wasn't successful in all my choices, but I was impressed with the final group that we had. I thought they all did themselves proud, and I think they did the city proud. So I appreciate everybody's interest, and I think we can benefit from that wish them all well in their future endeavors, and we'll look forward to working with Representative Murphy.
Thank you, Councilor. I think you raise a good point. Could we ensure that we send letters to the other candidates, Ms. Callery? Further discussion on
Move
this?
to adjourn.
Hold on, Councilor. Councilor Leahy, could you just take the podium for a second? I just had a couple of comments as well.
Mayor Elliott?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I also just want to add a few comments along the same lines as Councilor Martin. Each time I've been through this process, it is a good learning experience, and again, I feel we did really have a very good pool of qualified candidates, each with a little bit of different experience, each with a little bit of different background, different ways of approaching the challenges that we have in the city, and it's always a good learning opportunity when you ask questions and you hear from different individuals in different fields and how they feel that they could run the city. So I'd like to thank all the candidates as well, and the city did receive a fair number of very good qualified candidates, and like Council Martin, I would like to have seen a couple others as well. But that being said, moving forward, candidate I selected. Mr. Ramirez, I'm always impartial to a local candidate. I believe they have a lot of experience hitting the road running when it comes to the issues of the city. But that wasn't the sole deciding factor. I believe both those candidates, all those candidates brought interesting perspectives on running municipal government, or those understanding of municipal government. What I wanted was a professional that is capable of making sound decisions. And I think all the candidates had that experience. I was also looking for someone that was going to be able to make a good, bring together a good team. And those decisions will reflect on the individuals that they surround themselves with. A good manager surrounds himself with good talent and good individuals. And that's how a good city is run, I believe. Mr. Murphy has those qualifications. He has that ability. He has a passion for the city. He knows the issues in the city. And what was also most important is that he will listen to this council, and he knows he works for the council. So congratulations as well to all the candidates. And I'm sure we're all going to come together and work in the best interest of the city. So thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Anybody else? Move to adjourn. So we already did that. Move to adjourn by Councilor Kennedy, second by Councilor Martin. Thank you.